Evolution Securities Head of Credit Research, Gary Jenkins, joins me on the Pulse. Welcome. First of all, let's look at this whole issue of the rating agencies. They're a lagging indicator. That's been said many times before, but they also do make a difference to investors because there are certain levels at which investors will not invest.
The bond market is actually set up around the rating agencies. That's how investment decisions are made. That's how investment portfolios are actually structured. So even though we might say that the rating agencies lag, we might say that they don't know what they're talking about half the time, or that they contradict themselves, as they did with Greece last week. The fact of the matter is they are key to how the bond market operates.
Now, just looking at France, that story that they may lose their AAA rating, do you think that is something that's likely, and what kind of effect does that have?
Well, there's two different things. First of all, from an economic point of view, yes, it is likely that France could lose their AAA. When you look at their debt to GDP compared with some other countries with lower ratings, then it does look out of place. But it would take a very brave rating agency to downgrade France. If you downgrade either France, Germany or the US, then watch your back, because the regulatory regime will get a lot harsher, a lot quicker. So I would imagine there'd be the candles burning late at night in Moody's or S&P before they downgraded someone like France.
OK. Well, no, all eyes are on Spain today ahead of that OECD report. There have been concerns that they will get further downgraded. Do you think that's likely in the new year?
Yeah, I think they probably will. The key thing for Spain is going to be can they get the funding they require next year and at what cost? It's the big one. It's the line in the sand, really, where the EU cannot allow to be crossed. So it's going to be fascinating to watch whether they can really raise some 160 billion next year.
Now, the last debt issuance that they had didn't go quite as well as planned. Does that bode ill for the ones that they're coming up with next year?
It certainly does. That was a 10-year and a 15-year, and it struggled. Now, it was in a week where it was fair that it might struggle, perhaps, with a lot of background news, which was quite negative. But the fact of the matter is, when you're struggling to raise very small amounts of money, then it does make you question how successful they're going to be in 2011, raising a huge amount of money.
Now, the repercussions of that, of course, are vast, aren't they? I mean, after Ireland and Greece, they really were small fry compared to what would happen if there did have to be a bailout for Spain. Yeah,
there becomes a situation where kind of too big to fail becomes too big to bail. I mean, just how would you bail out something like Spain? And in the end, I think you'd have to see a completely different kind of European Union to enable Spain to get the money.
Now, just moving on to Ireland, we have been hearing over the weekend more and more talk of restructuring of Irish debt. Does that look like something that's increasingly likely in the new year?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, at some stage, people are going to have to bite the bullet and actually take some kind of real crystallised losses on this kind of debt. And that's where it's trading, to be perfectly honest. It's trading at levels which suggest that at some stage there will be a restructure. That's certainly true of Greece and is becoming truer of Ireland.
Now, when this was first mooted back at the beginning of the Greek crisis, there was talk that if there had to be this kind of restructuring, it couldn't exist within the Eurozone. It seems like now we're much more relaxed about that. Do you think that both Ireland and Greece could restructure their debt and remain within the euro?
Yeah, I think they could. I think that's probably the optimum solution for countries like Germany and France, that private investors take some of the pain, share some of the pain, as they've been saying, and at the same time you get a restructuring, an opportunity for the likes of Greece and Ireland to put themselves on a different financial platform and then start again. Good luck to them, though.
Absolutely. OK. Mr. Jenkins, thank you very much indeed.